Assalamu alaikum everyone. The topic which I am supposed to discuss today is what is literature and an introduction to English literature. I am going to explain you that what is the definition of literature, what are the types of literature and what is the main function of literature. English literature is the literature written in English language. English literature is not only the literature of a particular country, but it is the literature of the whole world. No other literature is as popular as it is because it is read and written in whole world. Now what are they saying? They are saying that English literature is such a literature, the literature which is written in English language. So this will be called English literature. Any literature, any form of literature which is written in English literature, English language, that will be called English literature. And it is not only called that it is the literature of only particular country. No, not at all. It is always written and read all over the world. So that's why it is the one of the literature which is most popular above than all other literature of the world. We can't say that it's only the literature of England. For instance, Robert Burns was Scottish and Swiss was Irish, Joseph Conrad was Polish, and Edgar Allan was an American, and Vladimir Nabokov was a Russian writer. But all have major place in the history of English literature. Now what they are saying that this is the actually task what I am supposed to tell you in this my particular video. They are saying that we never categorize the literature according to the writer and according to the countries. We just consider their work and their subject matter and then classify those work. We just take them overall and we have made the categories of our literature. And we didn't say that Robert Burns was the Scottish, so this is the literature of Scottish. No, not at all. They wrote the literature overall. Overall literature was written, and that's why English literature is the one of the most famous literature all over the world. Next one is there is origin. That what's the origin of literature? Its Latin root litera or literatura derived itself from the litera. Now what they are talking about the origin, that from which word or from where the word of literature came. Now they are saying that it is Latin word litera, from it came, and which is litera means letter or handwriting. So that's why it was used to refer to all written accounts. So they are saying that literature mean anything that is in the written account, that will be called literature. Now guys, let's move towards the definition of literature. We will see that what is the definition of literature. Let's see. Literature is a work of art. It's the creation of a world that allows the reader not to only dive into an aligned world but also allows the reader to reflect on various issues. It's not merely a recital of the ordinary speech but contains artistic value. So, this is the definition of literature. That literature is actually a piece of writing and it is also a discipline of art, which means that it is such a creation of world in which a reader will dive into aligned world. He will reflect on various issues. Not only means that he will just get isolated and he will remain away from everyone. No, not at all. It means to think about everyone, to think the other issues like their own selves, to know about the experiences of the life with the help of the writer's work, with the help of the author's work. Whenever the writer wrote the work, he not only reflects or just only imitate his own idea, just not only imitate only one thing. He is going to depict the whole society. So that's why we can say that a writer is a product of the society from which he is belonging. If we look at the English literature, the literary works are divided into different eras, also known as the literary periods in English literature for the purpose of studying, such as the Renaissance, the Romantic period, the Victorian period, and so on and so forth. Now, they are saying that in English literature, we have made the categories of the eras. For example, we have made the different types of ages, we have different types of time period? And according to what thing, according to which idea we have made these time durations gaps, we have made these where I would say that we have made these ages, we have made these categories according to the subject matter, according to the purpose of the writing. We have made categories of the writing, that will be, there was a Renaissance age, there was a romantic period, then later on there was a Victorian period, Elizabethan, and so on until up to date. We have made different kinds of the ages, we have made different kinds of the time of literature. So if we can say that for each period there are contemporary writers, poets and playwrights that were prominent figures of the time. Now they are saying a very important thing, that every time duration there were some major figures, there were some prominent figures of the time of due to their literary work. For example, during the Victorian period, Alfred Allen Tennyson, the Bronte sister, Robert Browning, Thomas Hardy, these are the most prominent figures who gained most popularity during the Victorian period, and they contributed a lot towards the literature. So that's why this age was very famous. So according to the people, according to the writers of that age, that age got popularity. Now we are going to talk about the two types of literature. That how many types of literature? There are basically two general types of literature. One of them is oral literature, and the second one is there is written literature. I hope you may get some idea from their name that what is oral literature and written literature. Oral mean towards some spoken literature, or written mean anything that is in form of with pen and pencil. So we can say that the written thing, written form of things are will be called written literature. Now we see that what actually oral literature and what actually written literature. Oral literature, it includes the ballads, myths, jokes, folk tales, rhymes and songs and etc. What they are saying, that as I earlier told you, that oral mean to speak and to spoken something. That's why the myths are always in the form of spoken, jokes, folk tales. So these all kinds, these are the types of the oral literature. While if I talk about of the written literature, that what is written literature? In written literature, it will include drama, poetry, novels, prose, journals, magazines, autobiographies, literary criticism and diaries and many etc. So these are the types of the oral literature and as well as the written literature. Now guys, we are going to move towards our final section of our this particular video, that why we study literature, what is actually the purpose of studying literature. Now we are going to see that what are the functions of literature. We will talk about the functions of literature, that what is the objective of literature, why we study the literature, why there is need of studying the literature. What are the functions of literature, guys? I have made the top 5 functions of the literature. I have made a list of functions of the literature, which are the major functions of literature. We can categorize them according to their need. So there are top 5 functions of literature. Now let's see that what are the top 5 functions. Number one is there the move the reader. That what is the first function of literature? The first function of literature is to move your reader. It means that literature doesn't mean if it is a piece of writing, so it doesn't mean that it is read and read and read, just it is going to on reading. No, not at all. It means to you are going to move your reader, you are going to increase his comprehension. For example, you can't say that a particular person is going to read the particular piece of writing, so he will just read the written thing. No, not at all. You are going to move your reader. It's the responsibility of the author that his way of expression should be very beautiful. It should be very fantastic, that he moves his reader from one to point to another point. He increases his thinking level. Number two is there to entertain the reader. What do you mean by entertain? Entertain means to that you are going to delight your reader. You are going to give happiness to the reader by reading your literature. Your reader will be get some entertainment as well. And number three is there is aesthetic pleasure. Doesn't mean that you are going to just to give the entertainment. You are going to just there is laughing ha ha ha. No, you are also going to give aesthetic pleasure to your reader. And number four is there awareness. Awareness awareness about different fields of the life. What do you mean by the awareness of different fields of life? It means that it is going to tell you, it is going to give you the information about different aspects of the life. So that's why it is going to make you aware about the world. It is going to make you aware around your things, that what's happening in the society, what's going on around you, and what's going on in the world. So that's the function of literature. It's going to make you aware. And number 5 is that very very important, that uplift your morals. We can say that literature doesn't mean that it is going to just entertain you, it is just going to aware you, it's just going to give you ecstatic pleasure. It's going to teach you, it's going to instruct you. Not only just reading is the purpose, the major purpose is also, the major function is also is that it, by reading literature, it will increase your morals. It is going to uplift your morals, that your morals will be more good after reading the literature. You're going to modify your morals according to the literature. So this was all about literature. I have just generally talk about literature, that what's the literature, what's the definition, what's origin, types, and what's the function of literature. I hope guys you have must enjoyed the video as well. And if you are watching my video at first time and you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel and press the button of bell icon, so you may be able to get the notification at the very first of my coming videos. And thank you very much. And how's you like the video, and how much you like the video, and what you find very best in the video, tell me in the comment section. And thank you very much. Share my link more and more, and stay in touch with Study with HJ.